Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Good morning. Okay. All right, any questions before we go back to our circles? Any questions about anything? All right, I'm just giving time so everybody join in. Right. So I put on your homework a worksheet that I want you to do this for the homework instead of the book. So I'm using the worksheet which is on Brightspace as a homework instead of using the book, because that's what I want you to learn from this section. So last time we introduced the idea of gave you the distance formula. It means if you have 2 points in the plane, x1, y1, x2, y2, and then d is the distance between them. So the distance, it means the length of the line segment between A and B. So the distance, it means basically I'm taking the length. It means if you have unit and you measure that, the length is going to be equal to the square root of y2 minus y1 squared plus x2 minus x1 squared. Okay, so that's the distance. And the way we've done it is that it's a pure Pythagorean theorem, no more, no less, which is we used a lot. That's really how we did it. We used Pythagorean theorem, and we said from here, this is x2 minus x1, and this is y2 minus y1. By using, and this is the distance d. So we said that d squared, which is the distance square, is y2 minus y1 squared plus x2 minus x1 squared. And from this, we derive the formula for the distance, all right? And then we've talked about equation of a circle. Okay, so we have a circle equation of a circle centered at the origin and with radius r. Means if I take a circle, this is a circle, and I centered it at the origin, right here. And the radius is r. It means I take all the points whose distance to the origin is r. So all those. All those points. And the question is, if I take any point here, what's the equation of the circle? It means what's the relationship between x and y? All right, anybody remember the equation? What's the equation between x and y? Put it on chat or just unmute yourself and say the equation. It means what's the relationship that exists between x and y? Right, I'm going to ask one of you. Alex, do you remember the equation? What's the relationship between x and y? Alex, are you with me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you remember the equation?
Off the top of my head, I can't remember the equation.
Okay, and it's crucial to remember it because it's important. Suppose I take any point on the line. I'll tell you how is it derived because it's simple, and then we have to memorize it. If you take any point on the line, on this circle, what relate x and y? Take it. This is r. That's the radius. This is the x, and this is the y. So if I use Pythagorean, what's going to be the relation between x and y? X squared plus the y squared is going to be equal r squared. So the equation is x squared plus y squared equal to the radius squared. So that's the equation. It means that's the relationship that exists between, if you take up any point on the circle, the equation that exists between the two coordinates x and y. All right, so that's what we're going to practice today with a lot more. So on your sheet, the homework that I put on Brightspace, I'm going to do number 2 and 3. So we're going to do it together, and I want all of you to be part of it. And then we're going to move on, of course, more today. So number 2, please, all of you, pick up a piece of paper and do those with me. So you learn this material. All right, number 2. Let's consider the circle with center at the origin and with radius 5. Okay. So that's a circle centered at the origin and with radius 5. So I'm doing number 2 on the homework I put on Brightspace. So this is my circle. And the radius is 5. So from here to here, I have a 5. Write the equation of the circle. It means if you take any point, that's really the idea. You have every point on the circle. When I say on the circle, it means right here on the circumference. Write the equation. It means what's the relationship between x and y. So what's going to be the equation? Please write it on chat quickly so we can proceed. I want to answer on chat. Okay. All right, Asia. Asia, are you with me? Asia?
Yeah.
Yeah, what's the equation?
Would it just be y equals 5?
No. The equation of a circle is x squared plus y squared equal r squared. All right? So what's the equation here is going to be x squared plus y squared. R is, in my problem, equal to 5, equal to 5 squared, which is 25. Which means that if I take a point here, any point here, what relate the x and y? They are related by this equation. That's what we call the equation of the circle. So on the note on the side, just to give you a picture, when you guys did the equation of a line, suppose you have a line, and you tell you the equation is 2x plus 4 of this line. So we draw a line, and we said the equation is equal to x plus 4. What does this mean? Means that if you take any point on the line, any point, the relation between x and y is y equal to x plus 1. That's really what the equation is. So if you put x equal to 1, your y will become 2 plus 4. So it means what's the relationship between the x and the y for points on the line? The circle is the same. If you take a point on the circle, you can take anywhere here. What's the relation between the x and the y? That's what we mean by the equation of the circle. Okay, question number 2. So that's A. So that's what we mean by the equation. Part 2. Is the point 1, 2 on the circle? When I say on the circle, it means is it right here? That's on the circle. So if I take a point 1, 2. So this is 1. I really don't know where 2 is. So this is 1, 2. Is the point 1, 2 on the circle? So that's 1, 2. What does the picture tell us? Yes or no? Back to you. No, the picture tells me no. That's the point 1, 2. Now, how can I make sure that this point is not on the circle? Not by using the picture, by using the equation. Okay, it's 1, 2 on the circle. The picture tells me no, but why the equation? On the circle. Okay, so if I don't have a picture in mind, so I didn't draw it, how can I check? We plug 1 for x and 2 for y in the equation of the circle. It means I plug in 1 here and 2 here, and I ask myself, does this point satisfy the equation? If it does, it means the point in here. So let's do that. So I will have 1 square plus 2 square. This is going to give me a 5, which is definitely different from 25. The point is not on the circle. Now, C, along the same line, is the point 3, 4 on the circle? Okay, So 3 should be somewhere here. 4, at this stage, I actually lost track. So the picture will not help me now. So now back to you. If I take the point 3, 4, is it on the circle? Yes or no? I give you a minute. So Tim tells me yes, because I'm going to do exactly the same thing. I'm going to plug in 3 for that and 4 for x. And I evaluate. That's going to give me 9 plus 16. This is equal 25. It means the point is on the circle. Means if I take, this is my picture, so this is my circle here of radius 5. So there are a lot of points, of course. If this is 3, let us say this is 3, it means this is the point right here. That's the point 3, 4. It's right on the circle because it satisfies 3 squared. 3 squared plus 4 squared is definitely equal to 25. All right, so that's really the idea. All right, now I'm going to do number 3 with you again. Okay, number 3 is the following. Let us consider the circle given by the equation. So as far as you are concerned, every time you see an equation of the form x squared plus y squared equal r squared, okay, when every time you see, on number 2, is it the absolute value? No. It's the absolute value of x squared is the same thing as x squared. Absolute value of x squared is the same thing as x squared because x is positive. Okay, so x squared plus y squared. So whenever you see an equation of this form, this is represent all the point that lies on a circle of radius r. So every time you see this equation, until you sketch the graph, this is a circle. Because for the simple reason that I've been repeating, x squared plus y squared equal r squared. So now number 3 is the following. So everything is in your bright space. So consider the circle given by the equation. So number 3. I have the circle given by the equation x squared plus y squared equal 49. That's the circle. The question is, find the center and the radius of the circle and sketch it. So far, the center of this circle is 0, 0. Okay. Now, what's the radius of this circle? Quickly, the radius is definitely 7 because 49 represent r squared. So the radius is equal to 7. Sketch it. Means I'm basically sketching a circle centered at the origin and with radius 7. So I have all those points. So there are a lot of points that satisfy this equation. Now part 2 is, again, I keep asking you the same question. Is the point 3, 5 on the circle? Back to you, yes or no? Yes or no? Okay, anybody said me yes beside one student? I want other answers because I didn't do that. Anthony, do you think yes or no? Okay, I want more answer on chat, not only one. Okay, everybody tells me no. So, because if I take 9, 5 squared, which is 25, I'm getting 36, which is not 49. No, it's not sometimes easy to check, to know whether the point, I am not sure. Is it making sense now? No, because of that. Because if I take the point 35, I cannot draw it because we're not very good at drawing. So I ask myself, does it satisfy the equation? It means if I put 3 for x and 5 for y, is this satisfied? And the answer is no. That's why it's not. So the answer is no. That's how we know. Otherwise, I don't know. I cannot always sketch. We're not very good at that. Okay. Now part C. Part C is the following. Find the points on the circle with y coordinate 5. I'm going to read it 2 times and I want you to interact with me with it. What am I asking for? this is my circle with radius 7. That's my circle. And the question is, find the points on the circle, means here, where the y coordinate is 5. So I'm telling you that this is 5, that's the y coordinate. And what I'm asking you is, find the point on the circle. These are where the y coordinate is 5. So this is the 5. So there are 2 points on the circle that has y coordinate 5. And the question is, I want you to find them. It means basically I want you to find the x. How shall I do this problem? (49 minus 25) and take the square root. Okay, so let's see what your classmate is telling me. It's telling me, all right, if the y coordinate, so that's the equation of the circle. It means that every point on the circle, every point here, its coordinate should satisfy this equation. Every point satisfies. Now, I have y equal to 5. So we're going to solve for x. Okay, that's really how it works. So let us solve for x. So I have x squared, that's why plus 5 squared equal 49. It means x squared is 49 minus the 25. It means x squared equal, that's a 4, is equal to 24. So what is x? The picture tells me that there are 2 x's. There is one here and one here. There are 2 points that have y coordinate 0. So if x is this, it means x is either plus or minus the square root of 24. Okay, so if I have the y coordinate, so this point here, this is going to be minus the square root. And this right here is going to be the positive square root, because even the picture tells me, you know, you have 2 points that have the same y coordinate. So minus the square root and plus the square root. Okay. So now I'm going to ask one more questions before number 4, part A, and then I move on. Number 4, part A. Please ask questions as I move on. Okay. So number A is the following. Find the center and the radius of each of the circles below. So we're going to only do 5A, and the goal today is to basically be able to finish the whole ideas. So I have the following: x squared plus y squared equal to 6. So that's an equation. And so it means if I sit here and I draw all the points that satisfy this equation, I'm going to get a circle. And the center is at 0. Question is, what's the radius? It's the origin. And what's the radius in this scenario? Back to you. In this equation, be very careful. The 6 is the radius square. That's really what the 6 is. So now we have the radius square is equal to 6. So this is equal to the square root of 6. So that's a circle where the radius is the square root of 6. Okay. All right. Today what we're going to do is the following. What if I take a circle where the center is not at the origin? What's going to be the equation of the circle? So I take a circle, and I make the center here, not necessarily at the origin. So I'm going to take another circle, different origin. So we're going to usually call the center, let us say HK, and the radius R. So the question is, if I take a point on this new circle, what's the equation? If I take a point on the circle, what's the equation? What's the relationship that exists between the x and the y? So that's what exactly we're going to do. So circles equation of a circle centered. So I'm going to change the center now at HK, that's the center, and with radius R. So my picture changed tremendously now. This is my picture. So the center is not at the origin. My center is right here. This is my H and K. And this is my radius. And this is the circle I am working with. And the question now is the following. If I take any point, so there are a lot of points. If I take any point on the circle here, any point, what's going to be the equation that relate the X and the Y? Right? How it's going to change? Right. So I'm going to call C the center. C stands for center. And I'm going to take P to be X and Y. I'm going to say that P satisfies the cursor. So if P is on the circle, then the distance from P to C, and I'm going to call this the distance, the square of the distance, is equal to R squared. So if a point is here, the distance from here to here, that's the distance, is going to be equal to R. We're going to derive the equation very quickly. But now what's the distance between P and C? This is a point and this is a point. What's the distance between them? I'm going to use the distance formula. From here to here, I have X minus H. And from here to here, I have Y minus K. So the distance squared is going to be X minus H squared plus Y minus K squared is equal to R squared. So if a point is on the circle, the relationship between X and Y is the following. The distance from here to here is a fixed number. Now what's the distance? X minus H squared plus the Y minus K squared, the square root of that. But to write the equation in an easy way, we take the square of both sides. And that's really the equation of a circle centered at HK with radius R. So, and that's the equation we're going to start practicing today. So, and this is called the standard equation of the circle. Called the standard equation of the circle. Now note that if H and K were at the origin, so if H and K 0, then we're back to the original equation we had, X squared plus Y squared. So if H and K are 0, that's the equation we've seen before. If it's not, that's really what's going to be the equation. All right, so first let us practice this a little bit. So my question is going to be the following. Simply write the equation of a circle in each of the following cases. In each of the following cases below. Okay, so we're gonna just write it. So to learn how to write it first, the center is 1, 2, for example. That's the center, and the radius is 2. Okay. So basically, I am thinking of a circle. The center is 1, 2. That's my center, and my radius is 2. So this is 2 from here to here. This is 2 from here to here, and this is 2 from here to here. And so this is the circle I'm thinking of. Okay, that's from here to here is 2. That's the circle. And my question is, if I take any point on this circle, any point, find the equation. It means what's the relationship between them. All right, I'll do the first one and you'll do the second one. In this scenario, we're going to copy the formula verbatim. The H is 1. The K is 2. So the equation of it means the relationship between any 2 points is X minus 1 squared plus Y minus 2 squared equal to the radius square. It means x minus 1 square plus y minus 2 square is equal to 4. So that's the equation of the circle. It means that's any point on this circle will satisfy this equation. B, again, the same type. We write equation of the circle in each of the following cases. So in part B, I'm going to take the following. So the question is how to use this formula. Part B, the center is, let us say, minus 1, 3. So I change the center. We can allow the center to be. And the radius is, let us say, equal to 4. Okay. So what's the equation in this scenario? Right. H here is minus 1, that's the center, and the k is equal to 3. So my equation becomes x minus h. H is minus 1, so we have to be careful with that, squared, plus y minus k squared equal to the radius squared. Okay. So the equation will become x plus 1 squared plus y minus 3 squared is equal to 16. And that's the equation of the circle. It means that's the, as I said, what relate the x and the y. Now we're gonna start going backward. I'm gonna give you the equation. You have to give me the center and the radius. Okay, so find the center. And this time I will ask you the questions. Find the center and the radius of the following. Okay, now A. I'm going to give you the equation plus y minus 2 squared equal, let us say, to 5. I want the center and I want the radius. Okay. All right. So your basic idea is that this is the equation. And now what's the center and what's the radius? Okay, I want the answer on a bright space. So one student tells me 2, 5. Okay. Look at it more carefully. More carefully for the center. What's playing the role of H in here? And what's playing the role of K? Okay. X minus 3, by analogy, it means the H is 3. Y minus K, it means the K is 2. So the center is 3, 2. So let's not get them backward. And this is the radius square. It means the radius is the square root of 5. So it means if I want to sketch the circle, so my center is at 2 and 3, so that's the center. And K is the square root of 5, which is a little bit less than, a little bit more than 2. If this is 2 here, it's going to be a little bit more. So that's going to be somewhere like that. This from here to here, 3, and something like this. That's going to be my circle. Okay. All right, part B. I want the following equation. X plus 3 squared plus y minus 4 squared equal, I don't know, 16, let us say. Again, find the center and the radius and do it by analogy. So you have to kind of, what's playing the role of H here and what's playing the role of K here. All right, I want all of you to give me the answers. Absolutely. So what's playing the role of H here? It's not the 3 because we can look, this is X minus -3. So the h is the -3 here. The k is 4. The r is the square root of 16, which is 4. So my center is -3, 4, and my radius is equal to 4. So if we sketch, if we want to sketch this equation, it's not very hard. We get a circle, that's the center, so the center is going to be somewhere here. That's -3, and that's a 4. That's going to be my center, and the radius is 4, so I'm going to have something like that. That's going to be my radius. Okay, please questions as I move on. All right. If the equation of a circle, that's called the standard form of the equation, is given to us in this clear way, then by analogy, we know the center and we know the radius. But a lot of times, the equation of a circle will be given to us in a more disguised way. So it's given to us, but we don't know it is a circle. We have to do some work to be able to figure out it's a circle. So equation of a circle in disguise, I like to call it. So equation of a circle in disguise. So it's not clear, it's not in a standard form. In disguise, it means it's not in its standard form. It means x minus h squared plus this. So sometimes the equation will be something like that. It's kind of. So let me give a simple example. Suppose I have 2x squared plus 2y squared equal to 16. Okay. All right. Does this look exactly like the equation of a circle? So that's why I called in disguise. So when you look at it, it does not look like a circle, because for me, the equation of a circle centered at the origin is x squared plus y squared equal r squared. As it is. This one doesn't look like that. But can I make it look like this? Yes or no? Can I make this equation somehow looking like that? Yes. How can I do it? Asia. If you can talk, just talk.
Would you divide by 2?
We divide by 2. Across the board. I divide by 2, I get x squared. I divide by 2, I divide this by 2, I get 8. So that's a very, of course, that's a simple example. The center is 0, 0. The radius is the square root of 8. But now, sometimes things are much harder than that. So you don't have to write it because we have to work a lot to get there. Sometimes you're given an equation of the following form. X squared plus 4x plus y squared equal, I'm making things up, equal to 0, for example. This has nothing to do with anything we've seen before. And the idea now is that how can I view a circle when an equation is given to us in a very messed up way? So this is going to turn out to be a circle, but how can we see the circle that will come out of this equation? To be able to talk about this, I need to talk about something called complete the square. Okay, notion of complete the square, because it's going to be crucial for us in the section, and it's actually important for you. All right, before I start the idea of completing the square, I'm going to establish the following. Suppose I have x plus a to the power 2. Okay, I need to establish the following idea. It is equal to what? It's x plus a times x plus a. All right, it means it's x squared plus ax plus a squared. It means that this is x squared. If I can add those, it's 2ax plus a squared. So I'm going to write this down. So if you have something like x plus a to the power 2, this term, this is x squared plus 2ax plus x squared. Right? Now, suppose I ask you the following question. Suppose I take the following expression, x squared plus 6x. Okay, and I tell you, what do you think I should add? So this would be something squared. By analogy, what do you think I should add here so that when I add it, this would become x, a term square? By analogy to that, what do you think I should add? Anybody can see it? Pure analogy. I mean, start thinking, this is x squared, that should be this. This 2ax, that should be that. That's okay. And this x squared, what should be here? So, sorry, my apology. This is a squared. Full apology. This is a squared. Okay, so what should be the a here? So I get something square. What do you think I should add? Before I give you the algorithm, but I want you to kind of interact with it a little bit. What's playing the role of a here? Anybody can see the analogy. What should I add so that this will be x plus something squared? 3 question mark? Yes, 3. Where do I get the 3 from? This is a, if you realize, and this is twice of a. So the 6 here should be basically the 2a. I mean, the 6 should be the 2a. So my a good. So my a, so 2a is the 6. So the a here should be equal to 3. So if I add 3 squared, this is actually going to be x plus 3 to the power 2. Take x plus 3 to the power 2 and basically distribute. You're going to get x squared plus 2 times 3, x, which is 6x plus 9. Okay, let me give you another example, and then I will give you the algorithm. Suppose I have x squared plus, let us say, 8x. My question to you is, what should I add so that this something, a term square? Again, I want you to find the analogy here. What shall I add to get something square? Anybody can see it. 4 square. Absolutely. Where's the 4 coming from? The 8 should be the 2a. This should be the 2a. It means what I should add is half of 8. So I should add 4 square. And this will give me exactly x plus 4 to the power 2. And let us check it. If I take x plus 4 to the power 2, according to the formula, I should get x squared plus 2 times 4 times x plus 16. So it's going to give me x squared plus 8x plus 16, which is the 4 square. All right, so what's the idea of completing the square? What's the algorithm? So what's the idea? Completing the third idea is the following. Given any expression, given the expression x squared plus a b times x. Suppose you have an expression like this. The question is the following. What should be the box such that, what should I add such that if I take x squared plus bx plus what should be something squared. That's the idea. If you have expression x squared plus bx, what should I add? So the result give me it's a term, sorry if you don't understand that, a term square, something square. And the algorithm will be the following. That's the algorithm. Suppose we start with x squared plus bx. I need to add half of b squared. It means I take the coefficient of x, and this is gonna give me x plus b to the power 2. It means that we add half the coefficient of x to the power 2 to get a term square. Okay, and now lots of examples to be able to do that, because I know that's a little bit confusing, but you will get it very quickly. So, example. Complete the square of the following. Suppose I have x squared plus 4x. The question is, what should I add to have something square? All right, the algorithm tells me to have something square, what you should add is, this is x, this is the b. You take half of b, which is equal to 2, you square it, and you add it. So I add half of it squared. And if I do that, this will give me x plus 2 squared. So if I have an expression, x squared plus 4x, what shall I add to get a term squared? That's why it's called completing the square. You take the 4, you divide it by 2, it's going to give you a 2, you square it, and you add it. Example number 2. X squared plus 6x. My question to you is, what should I add here? So the result is something squared. Let's see if you guys get it, because the whole thing, today will be totally based on this idea. Anybody?
You wrote 4x again instead of 6.
Sorry, I meant 6x. Sorry, thanks. What shall I add?
It should be 9.
Yeah, so I should 9. It means you take 6 divided by 2, this is 3, you add a 9. The result is what? What should I get here?
X plus 9 squared.
No.
Or,
no.
Or x plus 6.
No. Is what you add, is x plus 3 squared. So what you're going to add is, you take the coefficient of x, it's a half times 6, which is equal to 3. So what you're adding here is the 3 squared. So this is going to be x plus 3 squared. Now, if you're ever not sure that you're getting it correct, you take x plus 3 squared and you evaluate it. You should get this term. So if this is x plus 3 times x plus 3. I multiply out, I will get x times x squared plus 3x plus 3x plus 9. I am correct. So what you add here is the 3 is half of what x is multiplied by. What you add is half what x is multiplied by.
I have 2 questions, if you don't
Yes.
mind. My first question is, so shouldn't the equation be x squared plus b of x plus a unidentified number equals x plus half of b squared?
Yeah. What's half of 6?
3.
Yeah.
Right. But the equation you wrote above it is x plus b squared, which b is equal to 6, according to the formula.
I don't think thank you very, very much. Great. Thanks a lot. You're absolutely correct. 100%.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thanks a lot. No problem.
And my second question is,
yeah.
This is kind of a redundant question, but could you have a negative squared? So it wouldn't be plus or minus, because a negative times a negative is a positive. does that hold any relevance in this equation?
I'm going to give you an example. Let's see if it will answer your question. Suppose I have x squared minus 6x. Okay, I want to complete it. So my question is, what should I add to have a term square? I don't know if this will answer your question, but we'll see. What shall I add to have a term square? What's going to be the difference between here and here? Okay, what I add is always, the b is what x is multiplied by. X is multiplied by minus 6. You take it, you divide it by 2, you get minus 3. So what I'm going to add here is the minus 3 squared, which is the 9 basically. But this will give me what? It gives me x, but this is going to give me minus 3.
Okay.
Does it answer your question?
Yes.
Okay, so if you have a minus 6x, this will have to be x minus 3 squared. So it means basically you're going to add a 9, but this is going to be x minus 3 squared because you have a minus 6x. Now you take this expression, you basically distribute, you're going to get x squared minus 6x plus 9. I'm going to give you guys one more, and then we're going to start using this. So we're not doing it for no reason, of course. We're going to use it a lot. So I will give you one last one, which is a little bit harder, but I hope this will explain, make sure that, suppose I take not a very nice number, but I want all of you to do it, not only few. Suppose I take a, I don't know, minus x, for example. Okay, not very nice here. And my question to you is, what should I add so that I have something squared? Please, each one of you, identify your b. In this case, b is what x is multiplied by. b is what x multiplied by. What x is multiplied by is minus 1. What x is multiplied by. I give you a minute to tell me what should I add and what should I get. Please, if you do that, you will be all right later on. Otherwise, you will be lost. So the b, it means what x is multiplied by, it's a minus 1. So what should I add is half of it. So don't be afraid of fraction. Half of it is basically minus a half. So what I should add to it is minus a half square. Exactly. And then what this will give me, it means this will be the following term. That's exactly that. So if you take x minus a half square and you actually multiplied it out, you're going to get, honest to goodness, this expression. So in other words, what I should add is minus a half square is 1/4. That's the term I should add. And this would give me x minus a half square. So that's the term that I need to add. So I'm going to check this for us before I go back to circles. So let's check. What do I mean by check? Means I'm going to take the term to the right, and I'm going to convince you that this is exactly that. So let me check this out. It's equal to x times x squared. X times that, it's minus a half x. This will give me another minus a half x. Minus minus plus. A half times a half, it's a 4th. So this would give me x squared. Minus a half x minus a half x, it means 1x plus 1/4. Absolutely correct. So those two are equal to each other. So now while we're bringing this up, first of all, it's something that you should know, because if you do anything else, this idea comes, the idea of completing the square is important. But now while we're bringing it up in this course and while we bring it up when we're talking about a circle. And here is the idea. The question is, I'm going to give you an equation which is look weird, and I'm going to make a circle out of it. So the question is the following. So back to circles. Okay. The question is, find the center and the radius of the given circle. And what I'm going to give you doesn't look at all like a circle, but we have to rewrite it to become a circle. So this is my equation. Equal to 0. The way it looks, as I said, there is nothing to do with a circle, because the equation of a circle for me is this: x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equal to r squared. That's the equation of a circle. My goal now, and that's what's called the standard form. So now our goal is to take this equation, to rewrite it, not to change it, to rewrite it so that it would look like this. We're going to take it, rewrite it using the idea of completing the square, so it would look like that. That's really what I'm going to do. So I'm going to rewrite, and watch carefully how I'm going to rewrite. I'm going to rewrite it, manipulate it, so I get the basic idea. Right. The way we do that is like this. First, we look at everything that has x in it, which is this piece, and everything that has y's in it, which is that. And now I'm going to do what we call completing the square. I'm going to take this expression, I'm going to add something to it, because this is my I want something like that. So I need to complete the square of this term. So complete the square of this term. The square of this term, right? Okay, how do I complete the square? And this is an equation. So this is x squared plus 4x. To complete the square of this equation, of this piece, that's the first piece, how do I do it? What x is multiplied by is a 4. Half of it is a 2. So I need to add 2 squared. But now here's the thing. This is an equation. If I, as you guys know, if I change one part of the equation to keep the equality, if I added that, in this, I need to add it right here. Otherwise, I'm changing the expression. So here I have a 0. I have to add 2 squared. Otherwise, I'm not changing. I'm just rewriting things. Plus, the y square is by itself complete because it's a term square. Plus y square, I'm not changing anything. So I'm collecting the x's together and complete the square. To complete it, I need to add something, 2 squared. But if I add it to the left, I need to add it to the right. Otherwise, I will be changing my equation. Now we are basically done, because when I completed the square, this one becomes x plus 2 squared. So I'm heading toward the standard form. And this remains y squared. And this will give me a 4. And now this is like the equation of a circle. Okay, so that's why we have to learn about completing the square, because things may not look like having anything to do with a circle, but this is actually, if you sketch all the point, which is almost impossible for us, only, what we call computer algebra system can draw those. For us, this is like jumble mumble. We don't understand what's going on. By rewriting it, I have an honest to goodness circle. So this equation, those two are exact same equation, but rewritten, shuffled around so I can figure out this form. So now this is in standard form. It means that's the circle in standard form. So now let us look at the center. I need the h and I need the k. From this, I know that my h is a -2. And from here, because this is not multiplied by anything, the k is 0. And this is my radius square. So now the center is going to be -2, 0. And my radius is going to be the square root of 4, which is equal to 2. It means that this equation represents a circle centered at -2, 0, and with radius 2. So now I can draw this. I can draw all the points that satisfy this equation. The center, that's the center, -2, 0. The radius is 2. So that's 2 from here, 2 from here, and this. So that's my radius. That's the circle. Means every point on this circle satisfies this equation or that, because those are the same but written in a different way. Okay. I'm going to do 2 more examples along the same line. Okay. So example number 2 is the following. And then I want you guys to work on it. So example number 2. Again, I'm going to give you an equation that has nothing to do, it doesn't look like a circle. That's why I call them circles in disguise. And then we're going to rewrite them. So I'm going to make one part easy, plus y squared minus 8y equal to 5. And the idea is, of course, you look at this, there is nothing even remotely look like the equation of a circle, but we're going to rewrite it. We're going to actually kind of play with it a little bit, so it will have the standard form. So this is my goal, is to manipulate till I get that. That's really what my idea is. I need to get this. Okay, I need to manipulate. So how do we do this manipulation? All right. First, I gather everything in X together and everything in Y's. So everything that has X in it, I think of them, and everything that has Y in it, I gather them. And then I want to complete the square of this piece and complete the square of this one, each one of them by itself. And remembering that we have equations here, so we have to keep it balanced. So let me complete the square here. For each one of them, complete the square. So this is x squared plus 4x. Quickly, what shall I add to complete the square? Okay, please start writing things down to see if you guys are following me. What shall I add to complete the square of this piece? X multiplied by 4. We take that, divided by 2, add it. We're going to add 2 squared. But now watch very carefully here. It's very important. If you're adding 2 squared here, you have to add it here as well, or you're changing your equation. We cannot do that. If I add it here, I have to add it here. Now, the second piece, I want to complete that. So that's y squared minus 8y. Again, what should I add here? What should I add? 4. All right, so this is going to give me whatever y multiplied by minus 8 divided by 2. Why 4? Yeah, but what should I add? I should add what? Minus 4 squared. No, it's not minus 16. It's minus 4 squared. Minus 4 squared is not minus 16. Minus 4 squared is plus 16. So be very, very careful. What I should add is the quantity minus 4 squared, which is the plus 16. So right here, again, I added the term here. I should add it right here. So this is going to give me plus minus 4 squared. It's the plus 16. Please be very, very careful. All right. Now, we're going to rewrite this as, that's my goal. I'm hitting that. Now, what this one become? This will become, I added 2 squared x plus 2 to the power 2. Plus, what will this piece become? This is y. That's what, minus 4 to the power 2. And this will become equal to 5 plus 4, that's a 9. 9 plus 16, this will give me a 25. And now I have the standard form of the circle. So this way, this equation look absolute jumble mumble. We have no idea what this equation is. By rewriting and shuffling things around and completing the square, I rewrite it in this standard format of the equation of a circle. So that's the standard form. Now, the center now, so that's a circle. The center of my circle is, and the radius is. So what's the center very quickly? What's the center? Always compare it to x minus h squared. So what is the center? X plus 2. So I play the role of h here. So h is minus the 2. And my k is the 4. So my center is going to be minus 2 and 4. And my radius is going to be equal to 5. It means this equation, which is really, really hard to see anything in it. I don't see anything in this equation, but by rewriting it, I actually got an honest to goodness circle centered at minus 2, 4, and 5. It means if we sketch all the x and y that satisfy this equation, we're going to get a circle. Now I'm going to give you one more, but this time I really want you to work with it and see what you guys come up with. Sorry. So the same question, but the following. X squared minus 12x plus y squared plus 2y equal to 4. Okay, I want each one of you to take it. And the question is, find the radius, that's a circle, find the radius and the center of the circle. So I'm going to give you a few minutes for you to interact with it, and then I ask you questions. Please, each one of you, even though I don't see you, have a piece of paper with you and do it. That's the only way you're going to learn it. And I will do it myself since you guys are working. Right. Who feels comfortable leading the problem? Who feels comfortable starting it? Anybody feel comfortable? Okay. All right, Daniel Olson, have you done it? Danielle? 6 minus 1. Okay, Anthony, walk me through what you did. I really don't know. I didn't work it myself. So I want you to help me. What did you do?
Okay, so can you hear me all right?
Yeah, Daniel, follow us carefully. Anthony, go on.
Okay, so for the equations, I wrote x squared minus 12x minus 6 squared plus,
Not minus 6 squared. Be very careful.
it's not minus, so it should be
It's
positive.
plus
Plus y squared plus 2y, and this one would be minus, right? Or plus.
no.
Okay.
You followed what is y multiplied by? By a positive.
2,
Okay, so you
right.
take half of that. Half of that
Sure.
is what?
1.
1.
Mm.
Square it, it's 1. Okay, so what we did here, x squared minus 12x. What is x multiplied by? It's a minus 12. You divide this by 2, it's going to give me a 6. Then you add the minus 6 squared. Now, whether you add minus 6 squared or plus 6 squared, it's the same because you're squaring it. So whether it's minus 6 or plus 6, you're going to get a 36. All right. It's equal to what?
16.
Okay, what did you get on the right side?
Oh, 4 plus 6 squared minus 6 squared, I mean.
So how do you want me to write the minus 6 squared?
Parentheses, and then minus 6, and then squared,
Right.
and then plus, would that be 1 squared, which would be, is that just 1? Just 1, yeah.
All right, now let us proceed. This piece will become what?
That'd be x minus 6 squared
Where do you want me to write the squared?
outside the parentheses.
Right.
And then the other one would be y plus 1, and then squared on the outside. And that one would be
4.
4
Plus?
plus 36 plus 1.
Yeah, let's not really worry about that. We can add in a minute. So this would give me x minus 6 squared plus that equal 4 plus 13, that's 40. 40 plus 1, 41. Okay, so the center is 6 minus 1. And what's the radius, Anthony?
Square root of 41.
Square root of 41. Absolutely correct. All right, so you have x squared minus 12x. The question is what to add. Whatever x is multiplied by, which is minus 12, you divide it by 2, which is minus 6. You square it, which basically gives you 36, and you add it. So you square this, which is minus 6, square it, and you add it. So basically, this is the 36. But if you add it from one side, you have to compensate, add it from the other side. And y squared plus 2y, we did the same. What's y multiplied by is 2. You divide it by 2, gives you 1. You square that, and you add. But then you have to add it from the other side to keep the equality going. The benefit that this term will become into mx minus 6 squared, and this will become y plus 1 squared, and you do it. All right, I'll give you another one. And for those who didn't follow, try to do it. Okay, so, all right, those have to be chosen very, very carefully, otherwise it's a mess. Okay. So this is it. X squared plus y squared plus 24x plus 23 equal to 0. Okay. Now, sometimes things are a little bit messy, so I will start this problem for you, and then you guys will finish it. First thing we have to do is put everything in x together, the y's together, and the other term, we can put them from the other side. Means I'm going to rearrange. So I'll make this x squared plus 24x. I'm just rearranging. I'm not really doing math so far. plus the 23 equal to 0. And then to let it look a little bit like the previous problem, I'm going to rearrange it this way. So first I'm rearranging. Now I'm going to stop and I want you to take over. Okay. This should not be very hard. Please, all of you do it. Put your answers on chat, and then, as we did before, we work with it. Please, each one of you try it. Anyone? Daniel, are you feeling better about it or not yet? Okay. All right, so let's do it together because we still have a few minutes. This is x squared plus 24x. Okay. Y squared is already complete. I don't really have to do much. I want to finish this piece. What should I add? So I get something squared. 24x. What's x multiplied by is 24. You divide this by 2. Give me a 12. You divide this by 2. Give me a 12. And you add 12 square. That's how we do it. Now, if I add 12 square here, I need to add 12 square from this side. And the benefit is by doing this, I haven't changed the equation because I'm keeping it balanced. And then the x plus 24, this would become the following quantity, x plus 12 to the power 2. So this expression is exactly x plus 12 to the power 2 plus y squared equal minus 23 plus. Now 12 squared is 144, I guess. Yeah, this is 144. So finally, I will have x plus 12 squared plus y squared equal to, now 144, you're going to take 23 from it. We're going to get 121. So I rewrote it to become like this. So now my center is going to be, my h would be minus 12 and 0, and the radius will be the square root of 121, which is equal to 11. Okay. All right, so I definitely stop at this stage. Please do the homework for next time because I'm going to use this idea of completing the square a lot. Next time on Monday, I'm going to use it on Wednesday. So I need it a lot. So please do the homework. Go over what I did today. For those who did not follow, do the homework and ask questions next time.
I do have one question, if you don't mind.
Of course, please go ahead.